boom goes the dynamite. Welcome to the show. All right, hold on. I should do this. Ready and clap.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I always, because I got to sync up the audio with the video after I'm done, and it's always a pain.
So we need that.
Wait. Speaking of syncing up the video,
Record.
hit record helps. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're coming from. Welcome to the show, guys. It's Monday night. Let's get excited. Woo!
Who's excited?
I'm excited because the Porsche just left. So, good day, everyone. What's up, Scott?
What's going on, guys?
Hey guys, what's up?
What's up?
Bobby's checking out. He sent me a picture. I have to show you a picture. He sent me a picture.
Yeah, he's
with him
better
with
now?
hair.
He's better now?
He had hair. And I was like, and I go, this is the reason why you're bald now.
Why?
Because you have to see this picture. Good evening.
What's up?
Good evening, dear Fernando. Hope you had a great weekend.
Yes.
You had a good
I
weekend.
had a great weekend, yes.
92 and sunny in Colorado. Oops, wrong
Not
show.
here.
Good enough. Good evening, guys. What's up? Hey, 81 PA. You were just
There you
there.
go.
See,
Happy
Monday, if there is such a thing.
It is not a such a thing.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
Monday.
It's just
It's
Monday.
not a
And,
happy
you know
Monday.
what? It is a good Monday. You know why?
Really?
Because it's almost over. Good afternoon from Texas. Good morning. See? This is what I got to say.
There you
Nando had his beard lowered. Yep. If you
Yeah.
catch the news, if you caught the news on Friday, he had it done for that. So
Don't forget, clap again.
clap again. one clap is enough. We're checking in. What's up, guys? Hi, good morning from future in Sydney, Australia.
Hey,
When I say good morning,
I
it's
like
all
that
good.
future.
1 day closer vacation. Oh,
One day closer.
I know, and
Oof.
it was a hard day. I'm not gonna lie, this was a hard day. You can kind of see that logo right there, out of frame, barely, of the Cadillac.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, the car putting up a good fight. Not gonna lie,
Yeah.
it's giving us the 1-2. That is for sure. We're
Pretty
definitely
cool.
getting the old 1-2 on it. Epicenter Micro between a Prima 8.9 bit and an ADA1, or before Prima. After the Prima 8.9, coming out of the 0.9 subwoofer output, go through the Epicenter Micro and then out to the AD1. I believe the AD1 has crossover on it for. I'm almost. God, I'd have to check. You want to check that real quick? Because typically what you want to do is go out of the processor through the Epicenter and then to the amplifier using the crossover on the amplifier. And then in the processor, turn the crossover either off or
Prima?
as high as you can do it. Yeah, Prima AD1. That should be that little 1000 or 500 guy. A little 1000. I think it's like, yeah, it's actually sitting right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AP what?
AD1. I mean, just walk over here and check.
Probably that would be the best. You
AP1D.
see, I was like AP1. AP1D. All right.
It might not have a crossover. Oh, it doesn't have a crossover. Ooh, that's going to be bad.
That's no.
No, it doesn't have a crossover. Ooh. All right, so that sucks because that doesn't have a crossover. Yeah, it's just because it's just a standalone mono amplifier. So then the next question would be, what are you feeding into the 8.9? So if you're going high level, this is gonna be tough. If you're going RCA, you could just use front, rear, and sub input and come into the 8.9 that way. You also, I mean, so that's the problem. I don't know if you can do, because the 8.9, even though it's cool, is a real basic DSP amplifier, and that it can't do a lot of tricky things. Like when you run line level in and RCA in, it has there's no real gain section to it, so it expects you're going to do one or the other.
1K, nope.
Yeah. There's no. So that's gonna be a tough one. If you're going RCA in, you'll be fine. You can just go front, rear, sub in, and then run it in through that and run it all the way out. That'll still give you the full Epicenter effect. But that's going to be a hard combination for sure. Fernando, how was your trip?
That was awesome.
Good call there. Hey, gentlemen. Hey, how you doing? The worst were the early all-electric model Caddies and Lincolns. Why the wipers or heaters often seem to operate with the new stereo. Always fun. It never happened to me, luckily. I would agree. Or if you pulled out the factory amplifier and the car didn't start anymore. That was always my favorite. That was always my favorite on those.
Yeah.
Thoughts on boosting and cutting 9 dB on the same driver when EQing with a D6 1200. I had to do that in both mids 2008 Ford Fusion. Are we talking the input voltage, output voltage? Because on a D6 1200, you have input signal, you have output signal, and then you have frequency. So it really going to depend. Honestly, I don't really look at that stuff all that often. Like I'm never really paying attention to like an EQ. Like if I have to go, sometimes I'll have to go to the floor on some of the frequencies.
What's up, John?
What's up, John? We gotta get John on the show. I want to have him on when we get back from vacation. But like if we're trying to blend like a tweeter with a mid bass or something like that, then unless and we're gonna have to go, I would never. Yeah, I'd have to know where you're doing that at. So you're going high level. You might. That's gonna suck. I don't know if there's a way to do this successfully because. All right, so what you'd almost need to do is get like an F mod or an inline crossover, an inline RCA crossover. FMOD, F mod is an inline electronic/passive crossover. EQ in the output, not okay. Yeah, I could see bringing it down 9 dB. Yeah, it depends on the signal, but anyways, I was saying you could do it the way we talked about, coming after the 8.9, before that by going with an F mod, low pass crossover, get like an 80 hertz low pass. Yeah, I know it works. I mean, I had them on my home stereo for years, but we used to sell them all the time, and you could still get them. But what that does is that'll give you an inline crossover for that amplifier and allow you to use the thing with what you have. So check that out. Quick question. Less than 2 minutes of playing music pretty loud. My sub amp cuts out, but plays normal at low and mid volume. Got the Rockford amp with the clipping light just under blue light. Regardless of the amplifier manufacturer or brand, it really doesn't matter. You know what? Hold on, let me see this for a second. I need to fix this because I thought this is really kind of. There we go. That's I was like blind there for a minute. There's 3 things that cause an amplifier to shut off. Improper air flow, so it heats up, shuts down. Bad battery voltage, not enough current, shuts down. Or an improper ohm load, which is the ohm load is too high, so to speak. So like you have it at a half ohm instead of a 1 ohm. Now, in those 3 things, there's variables of all of that. And the one that is the most popular variable is setting up the gain structure. Where does that actually fall in? Is it a voltage issue? Is it an ohm load issue? But the problem that you have is that if you're testing the amplifier playing a test tone to get that blue light, if there's a factory EQ or an aftermarket EQ or something else playing in the background that you can't see, if you're just playing a test tone, you may not get the light to come on. I personally like to play a very dynamic song while I'm setting those up, especially on like a factory radio, because I don't if I'm not RTAing it and we're just doing down and dirty quick, I'll just play regular music that I have, a dynamic track. No doubt. What is it? No doubt. Hella good. No doubt. Hella good. Mm-hmm. And I'll use that because when that song fires up, the bass note on that will clip the shit out of anything. So I will use that to set that bass light on that Rockford, and it works every time. So maybe go back and turning it up to where you think it is, to where that playing that song and readjust the gains, because more than likely it's a gain issue. It's either gain issue or too low on ohm load or improper battery voltage. So take your pick. Oh, Focal US 690 tweeters are way too loud. Is there a way I can do anything to lower the volume? Head unit is at -9 for highs. So on the passive crossovers for those, they have the board and they have the car. So when you install them, there's 3 wires. One, and there's 2 little flags on them. One says board, one says car. And I think if you hook it up to board, and what they're talking about is it display. It might even say display. It say display.
Yeah.
So they have display, car, and then a ground. Try hooking it up to display. I think the display cuts it -3. Other than that, if you don't want to buy new tweeters, this is a hack. Get yourself a towel if you can. Cut a small piece of the towel and put it in front of the tweeter. That'll mellow the tweeter down. It's basically you're adding grow cloth to the front of it, and it'll tone the tweeter down. It's Focal, baby. They're in your face. But yeah, that would be the key. Do you recommend component speakers in the front of a 2021 GMC Sierra powered by D5 1300? So if the GMC is the Bose system, or is it a non-Bose, would kind of be the first question. If it's a non-Bose, then it's just a left and right output. Yeah, do components all the way. There, you totally can. If it is a Bose system, then yes, you have to do some form of a component system, but the component has to be comprised of a high frequency mid-range and a mid-bass, just because of the way the Bose amp handles that. But if not, yeah, go for a set of components all the way. You could also do, if you want to keep it factory fit kind of things, you could look at the Kenwood 6902s, which is, or the 6903s. Is that a 3-inch in the dash?
That's a 3.
6903s. So you can get a really nice set of 3.5s and a 6x9-inch mid bass with the Kenwood 6903s, or anyone else's nice 3.5s. So
yeah.
But yeah, if you do a really nice set of tweeters up there, nice set of tweeters, like, yeah, you're all good. Do you guys have a plan to have the Moscone Tesla plug-and-play system? Plan? No plan. If you need one, yeah. We've seen it, we've touched it, we've looked at it. They have the harnesses, but yeah, I don't know if we'll ever. We don't do a lot of Tesla. We don't do any Teslas.
We don't do Teslas.
I don't know what it is, man. It's Florida, I guess. I mean, people drive them, but we're not seeing them yet. It's weird. Okay, hold on. Let me get on my reading glasses. Hello, I installed steering wheel stereo controls in my 2005 Toyota Tacoma. I also installed the stereo control airbag. What is that? The stereo control came from 2006 Toyota. A new steering wheel. Okay. After a lot of confusion in Crutchfield and my install, I realized I have to change the clock spring so the controls can plug in. My question to you is, what type of clock spring do you install to make the controls work and to match the steering wheel wiring harness? Should I install a 2006 Toyota Camry clock spring? Man, that is a great question that I do not have an answer to. I mean, that kind of falls outside of the standard answer question thing. I mean, all right, if I was to guess, it would make sense that you would be wanting to install the 2006.
Yeah.
Because the contacts have to contact. They have to make these points. So I know we did a Tacoma one year where the guy had changed the steering wheel and we had to repin the harness. Remember that one where we had to go and repin the harness? We didn't need to put in a new clock spring. We just had to add wires to it.
So maybe check if the wiring is in the other, another location, like on different pin, repin it. That's one of those things that you gotta.
So Ada says the clock spring needs to match the output of the steering wheel. So that would be the Toyota, or that would be the
2006.
Yeah, I did it on my Lexus. Go to the input of the clock spring to make sure there aren't any open pins. Is what I was saying. We had that one, the Tacoma, where they changed the steering wheel and there was just open pins, so we didn't actually have to do anything other than solder in new wires, which sucked. But hi guys from AVDC. What's up? Over there in Australia. How sensitive is the clip light on the D6 1200? I also boosted some frequencies 9 dBs when EQing, but no lights are coming on, not even a flicker. There again, that kind of falls. Do we know what kind of car he's hooking up to? I would never boost anything 9 dBs. So
9 dBs a lot.
Yeah. And there again, it's regardless of if you're boosting or cutting or worried about clipping or any of that other fun stuff, what you want to do is listen to it. And if you're listening to it and it sounds like nothing is falling apart or none of the signals are breaking apart or everything is working the way it's supposed to.
It's a 2008 Ford Fusion.
Oh, yeah, the 2008 Ford Fusion.
Yeah.
I would never boost anything 9 dB in a Ford, no.
That would be a lot.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Yeah. Wow. It's a 2008 Ford Fusion. Like, what is the source?
Radio.
What kind?
I'm assuming the factory. I mean, that's one of those weird ones where
Sony
if it's
system?
2008. Well, if it's 2008 with an 8-inch screen, I'm pulling that radio out, putting in an aftermarket radio and using the MFT1 kit or the MFT2 kit, depending on what works. I could also, if it doesn't have the Sony system, I'm ripping that radio out. Unless it's got that 3-inch screen. If it's got the 3-inch screen, I think Metra's new. What's up, Josh? I think Metra's new version of that dash kit works pretty well. We put that one not too long ago after we did the software update. It's solid as could be. So, sometimes it's just got to do a new radio. Seems like the week before vacation always sucks at my shop. Work on a boat and the IS 250 today. Have a full system and a Silverado tomorrow. Jason, I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I just wanted to coast through this week, not lying. Didn't want to get up this morning. Just want to slide on by. Not going to happen.
No,
Monday got off to a, hey.
Happy Monday.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Pretty much.
So it's always a good time. Hey, before we get too far into this, which we are too far into already. Hey, we do this little thing called the 12-volt Clean Wire Club. Remove that for me.
Yes, of course.
And the 12-volt Clean Wire Club is over on Facebook. And every week, Fernando scours the 12-volt Clean Wire Club for a cool picture. And this week, he came up with one. And it is this guy right here. So what do we have, Fernando?
We have Ibrahim.
Yep. Oh, yep. Is this Abraham?
I don't know if that's the same one that he always comment in the show and everything, but that's his name.
Okay.
And yes, I get it. It's like behind the seats and everything, but the wiring is clean, right? Everything is zip tie. Everything is nice. As much as you don't want to put it.
No, I was thinking much as I hate those amplifiers, I love those amplifiers.
Oh, they tons of power.
I know. It's so sad. But anyways, good job. If you would like to be part of that, then by all means, make sure you... Oh, wrong button.
Yeah.
Hold on. What am I doing?
Just hit...
This is the one I'm looking for. I need that one right there.
Perfect.
If you'd like to be part of the 12-volt Clean Wire Club, please head over there and post your cool pictures. And if it's cool enough, Fernando will allow you to be that guy. Hey, if you notice at the top of the page now, first ad, even though we're 20 minutes in, which we're going to miss an ad, this is the Mosconi Pro 4/30, which is the new big dog monster, which we've been talking about. I don't want to talk about that one today. What I want to do is I actually want to mention this guy here. This little guy is an 8-channel amplifier with DSP inside. Right? What could be better? But what makes this one unique, and I really wanted to mention this, is that a lot of you guys are big-time AB class amplifiers, and it's very rare that you find an AB class amplifier with a built-in DSP. Well, guess what? This is the guy right here. So the one 60.8 DSP is a Class AB amplifier with full DSP, 6 channels of input, 8 channels of power to output that you can do 4-channel and you can do 2-channel stereo, 4-ohm mono. So you have all the fun of a big amplifier. It's 80 watts by 8, as well as you can bridge it and get 170 watts times 2. There's a lot you can do with it. If you want to run it at 2 ohms, it's 85 by 8. But this is a cool little system building amplifier. And of course, it is an AB class. So check that out. And like the thing says, head over to Mosconi-America.com and check those guys out and see what they have.
All right.
Quick question. If my sub
amp
has a bass knob and my epicenter has a knob, which one do I adjust? Okay, so most bass knobs are just that. They're volume controls for the subwoofer. If that is the case for yours, then I would use the epicenter bass knob. So if like you have an epicenter micro and it has the bass knob, then yes. Now, if you just have an epicenter, not the micro, then the knob that it comes with is an effect and not a volume. So you actually have to install both, because your amplifier will control level and the epicenter will control effect. The only one that does both effect and volume is the micro. Okay, so keep that in mind. We've posted pictures before. We'll have a panel that has a bass knob for volume and the epicenter knob. You need knobs to play with.
All right, so let's go back to this one. The source is a Kenwood.
Oh,
I don't.
I thought he said high level.
No,
I thought he said.
There you go. So I don't see why you.
Well, if it's a Kenwood, that's fine. So you have 6-channel preamp.
Mm-hmm.
You go out of the Kenwood, hot front and rear goes into the 8.9. Sub passes through the epicenter micro.
No, I think this is the 9 dB.
Oh, that is the 9 dB?
The 9
oh,
dB.
hell
So
no.
that's what I'm saying. I don't see why you raising 9 dB when you have a nice.
No, because that comes flat out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, there is no reason why you should have 9 dB. Unless you got some weird speakers. Okay, if you...
The mids kind of point towards the feet. Yeah, but like it doesn't matter. No.
Okay.
Like the other question that would be, what type of speakers do you have?
Yeah, because if you have loudspeakers, I could totally see doing a 9 dB. If
Right.
you have regular speakers, no,
Right.
not so much.
Right. It's there's also a 990 watt version
Of?
I don't know.
Oh, this amplifier?
Yeah.
There might be.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, moving on.
All right, so hang on. I'm trying to go with the next one. I got it. All right. When setting up a 3-way active component, which driver should I play the loudness?
Say what? Give me that one more time.
All right. So when setting up the 3-way active components, which drivers?
Oh, hold on. This is what he's talking about. Sorry. If the 60 watt isn't enough, they have this guy right here, which is the 190.8 DSP. This is actually the one I was trying to find. I just clicked on, very important, read carefully, 4 ohms. But yeah, this is the same AB class style amplifier. So they have two AB class style amplifiers. Okay, moving on. Sorry. When setting up 3-way active component, which driver should I play the loudness? Should I play the loudest?
The loudest, probably. Loudest or loudness?
If this is as easy as I think it is, the mid bass is typically the one that is the loudest.
Should I?
Well, just because of efficiency. Well, okay, so plays. All right, it's there again. You're trying to balance the output, so there's not technically one that is supposed to be louder than the other. In the sense where it's like I'm dialing in. I mean, we talk often about a 2-to-1 power ratio, meaning double the power for the mid bass as opposed to the mid range and tweeter. And a lot of that has to do with just the fact that it's a bigger driver and it's less efficient than the mid range and the tweeter. So I think it's a tough question to ask, but most of the time, the mid bass is the more predominant or the harder thing to get louder. The tweeter's easy and the mid range is easy because they're small and they're they aim towards you.
What's up, Luis?
But you want a nice balance. So I don't think that's the right way to ask the question per se. I think you just want to make it balanced. I don't know if you're just going for balanced.
So it's just balance.
Yeah.
And you're not balancing.
No, I just noticed I'm like half of me's out of frame. Can grounding 3 amps to the same spot be a cause of floor noise? No. Nope. Usually floor noise is a signal issue, not a grounding issue. Like engine noise, maybe, but still, no. Because, I mean... If you have a good ground... no. If you got a good ground, no. Plenty of times you're using ground distribution. That's technically you're grounding everything to the same point. As long as the size of the ground is the right size, floor noise is a signal issue. So you're typically getting floor noise from the source. And the easiest way to figure that out is just remove the RCAs from the amplifiers or remove the source unit from the equation. Typically the floor noise will go away. If it's still there, then that's a gain problem, not necessarily a source unit problem. But none of that would really be caused from the ground.
I don't know. What is this one?
Also, should I replace two-way coax Morel in mid in the Subaru Forester with a mid-bass driver instead? I don't know. I guess I'm missing part of the question.
Donnie.
All right, well.
All right, so that was this one?
Flat sub versus normal sub brand. What would be the give? Okay. I think I know what this is about. So let's talk about a flat sub versus a full deep sub and what looks like a truck situation. So anytime you can get a full-size subwoofer in a vehicle, it's going to sound better than a flat subwoofer. All right. However, there's limitations naturally, right? Meaning to put a full-size driver up underneath this back seat, you have to lift the seat. If you're willing to lift the seat, you're going to get more bass than you would with a flat driver. A flat driver is a solution to a problem, but it's not the best solution. It's the only solution if you're trying to keep it thin. So if you're willing to go up the 2 or 3 inches that it needs in order to get a standard depth driver underneath the seat, then it's worth it. If you're trying to shoehorn a standard depth driver without lifting the seat, then it's not worth it because you'll never get the airspace you need in order for the sub to perform properly. In that case, you just stick with the shallow driver. So that's really the answer to that question. If we're trying to stay under the seat without raising it, shallow driver is going to be your best option. It's going to handle the airspace you're going to give it, which is nothing. It's going to perform the best. It's going to sound like bass. It's going to do the best that it can. Raise the seat up, and now you have double the airspace most of the time, or at least a third more or 2/3 more, whatever. You have more airspace. You have the height that the subwoofer needs. You have the proper clearance for the magnet or the vented pole piece at the back. Then, yeah, you're going to get way more bass out of that, but at the expense of lifting the seat. So that's your decision as far as which one goes is that and what you're looking for. Now, to answer the second part of the question, which I don't remember what that was.
About coaxials, removing the two-way coax.
Should I replace a two-way coax Morel in a mid of Subaru Forester with a mid-bass driver instead? All right.
I'm guessing the mid-bass is just the factory one?
Well, okay. So here's a wonderful question. If there's a factory tweeter and a coaxial and you're trying to do DSP work, yes, you need a mid-bass and a tweeter. So you need to separate the two. If it's just a coaxial on the bottom of the door with no tweeter, nothing else, that's entirely up to you as far as whether you want to stretch out your soundstage. So you can get great sound from coaxials in the bottom of the door with the proper equalization and DSP done to them. But if you want it to be easier, then by separating the coaxial into a component, widening the soundstage, it will be easier and it will sound more full. But that there again is a question of what you have room for and how much effort you want to put into it. So hope that answers the question. The speakers are Dayton RS4 180-4-inch.
Using an iPad with a Dayton microphone, 1 or 2 frequencies show bad dip and needed to be a boost. The RTA flat is using the white noise.
So if you're boosting, if the speaker can handle, so boosting is always bad. Everyone always says boosting is bad. Oh, don't boost, whatever. If you're boosting and you notice a difference and the speaker can handle the amount of boost / distortion you're giving it, and you're staying within the operation criteria of the speaker, meaning you're not clipping it, you're not causing it to stress, then it's gonna work. But the reason why we say things like don't boost is because most of the time everyone's gains are tapped out, like they're as high as they can go, and then you set it to -5, you put plus 9 dB of boost on it, so now you have 14 dBs of boost plus whatever else you added onto it. That's usually not a recipe for success. It's usually a recipe for disaster. But we're not there, so I'm not sitting in your car listening to it and can say, oh yeah, no, that works. That's when you're going to have to use your best judgment. And if the level you're playing it at, everything is working and it sounds good and it's balanced and you're getting no distortion and no clip or no, who cares what the magic is? When you ask someone what the picture looks like on the wall and they go, what kind of camera did you use? Who gives a shit? I took a picture. It looks good. You either like the picture or you don't. If the highlights are blown out and you can see grain, it might be a different question. You're like, oh. So the same is true with audio. If you're getting weird sound and clipping and like distortion at high volumes, then you have to dial that back because you can only push something so far before it does bad things. So that's kind of that. So you have to use your best judgment. Have you ever used 8000 series RCAs? Are they good? They're great. Personal note, and that's 100% a personal note, has nothing to do with the quality of the driver. They're very awesome drivers. I'm not a fan personally of the one mono cable that splits off into 2, 4, or 6. I don't like that. I don't like the big, personally, just because I don't like the way, I don't like it. I prefer a single cable. So like you have the X2s or the 6000s. I like that cable because I can immediately pull them apart.
All right, so it's not like the 8000s are like the X2 series?
No, they're X3s. They're X3s.
All right.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that don't know what we're talking about, we do have a little cool thing over here. Wrong one. Okay, so it's this. So what I'm talking about, and there again, this is just a personal thing. It has nothing to do with the quality of the cable. All right. Thank you, Moscone, for being a sponsor. Make sure to head over to moscone-america.com and check them out. So this is the Stinger 3, which is the same as the 8000s. It's just they're just this copper color instead of the silver color, and then the braiding is different. But I don't like this. Not in theirs, just in general. I don't like anybody's. I'm not a fan of this style cable. I like this. I like one wire, one tip. This is what I prefer, and that's just me. That's why we use a ton of these, but in the regular Stinger line, because I can pull them apart. I can do whatever I want with them. I can have, if I just need one, great. If I want to go with a long one and a short one, it's just, to me, I like this style, not this. Plus, I always feel like these are going to break. Like if I, with this style end, like it twists on and you lock into place.
Just not break them?
I always feel like I'm going to break them. Like they just always feel like they're going to break. This feels like tight.
There you go.
All right, so that's that.
So John like the 4000s.
Yeah. I think most installs you'll find like the coax style way better than the big nugget thing that you got to hide somewhere. And speaking of big nugget thing that you have to hide somewhere, hey, the next sponsor is Audio Control. That's right, making great good sound great, making good sound great.
Yeah, exactly. Just that. They trying
easy
to make.
Yeah, they trying to do it. No, they're doing it, man. That's right. Audio Control. I don't need to say anything else other than
Go
it's Audio
to the
Control.
website.
They make everything. If you're trying to do something, they've got a solution, except for an RCA. But check them out, audiocontrol.com. As you know, one of our favorite products. You guys too. We can tell you've already asked like a dozen questions about it. So, hello, stereo people, says Mr. Bill Freeman.
That's right.
Okay then. Should the gains be all the same on the active three-way component? They all have the same input signal and from the same source unit. Ooh. All right. Here's the answer to that question. And we're going to break it up into a little bit of just trying to understand this. So if here's your source unit. Okay, so it's this is the fix, right? So we're just going to say it's a 4-volt output, full bandwidth to make this easy, 20 to 20, or if it's high res, 20 to 40,000, whatever you got. 5 volts, we'll say 4 volts. 4 volts of output going into the amplifier. I set my gains using whatever method you prefer. Okay, so they're all at this. All right, so the amplifier, it's a 6-channel amplifier. They're all putting out maximum volume control, maximum gain output. All right, now I go and I tune my car. All right, so tweeters, mid-range, mid-bass, all play different frequencies at different volumes and different efficiencies. The likelihood that you're going to keep the gains all set the same is probably pretty high. But what you're going to do is you're going to adjust the level control in the DSP, meaning you're going to get to those tweeters and you're like, man, these things are hot. I'm going to turn them down. The mid-range, they may be fine. They may need to go up or down. And then the mid-bass, it's punchy. It's like, no. Or you want the mid-bass more punchy, in which case you're going to turn down the mid-range and the tweeter. So the likelihood of you keeping the gain all the same, 100%. The likelihood of you keeping the level feeding the gain, probably not. You're probably going to be turning that down so that you can blend them. Speakers are not all made to play at the same level. That's why even the passive crossovers come with attenuation for the tweeter, and in a good set of passive crossovers will come with attenuation for the mid-range, meaning you have like -3, -6, you have 0 and 3 or -3, because they're not all going to play at the same level depending on location as well as efficiency of the drivers. So no, don't be afraid to turn things down, like ever. Like it's like, wow, these tweeters, 107 dBs of joy, level them down. So you do what you want there, but no, the likelihood of you keeping them all at the same level is pretty thin. Hello, car stereo peeps, says Bill again. Do I need to use the same gain offset across my mids, highs, and subs? I think we just answered that. Yeah. It's the same answer to that question. No. What to piggyback onto that, whenever you're setting your gains, however you decide to do that gain structure, find out what the loudest can be and then turn it down from there. So like if use pink noise, white noise, it's not the same, quite the same. Yeah. Don't use white noise, pink noise. And there again, we've said it a million times, mono pink noise. And also you can get Educar's Test and Tune app if you're an iPhone user. Awesome stuff. That's what we use. It has all our stuff in it. But anyways, I was saying, you can go through and you can set all your gains to where, everything is where you want it as far as maxed out goes. And then you're going to turn down from there. Good morning, fellas. From here in the Philippines, question for you. Once I get back to the States, want to set up 3-way active. I have a sundown 4-channel with a component 6.5-inch Audisons. Also, I use the meter to check ground for noise. Bit of a weird thing. Okay, so first things first, if we want to do a 3-way active set, we're going to need more than a 4-channel amplifier. The definition of active means that each speaker has its own channel powering it as well as crossover. If you have a 4-channel amp, the most you can do is a 2-way set, because you can do a set of tweeters, you can do a set of mid-range. In order to do tweeters, mid-range, mid-bass, or tweeter mid, whatever, each channel. So you'll need another 2-channel amplifier or possibly another 4-channel amplifier if you'd like to do rear. But you need to expand that out to more channels. And then, of course, you need to make sure that you're either going to use some form of a DSP processor, like a good amplifier to do this, if Fernando is pulling it up here, is like the D or the LC 61200. There again, D has DSP. C has the LC, just has an active crossover on track. Pull up the LC actually, because what makes the LC go back one page? Because you have DSP amplifiers. Like there you go. Down. Yep, whatever. You got it. Good job. And then go right there. Just click on that. If you'll notice on the top of the amplifier, I have all those dials and whatnot. And what those dials are designed to do is you have bandpass crossovers as well as 10-time multiplier switch. So when you're trying to go active, you need to be able to set the tweeter to a high enough frequency that it can play at. Most standard amplifiers don't do that. They're designed to hook up to either a full range driver, or which technically a passive system with a tweeter, mid-range, and that passive crossover. The amplifier still looks at it as a full range driver. A 10-time multiplier switch allows you to get to that higher frequency, let's say 3200, 5000, 2200, something like that. And then for the mid-range, you need what's called a bandpass, meaning you need it to stop to not affect the mid-range and a bottom to not affect the mid-bass. So you need a crossover that there again can play up to that 32, 5000, and then you need something that'll play lower, or play the other direction, lower, which is like 300, 350, somewhere in that range. And then you need another crossover for the mid bass. And typically it's just going to provide you, unless you're doing a DSP, it's just going to provide you with the bottom for the mid bass. I'm sorry, the top for the mid bass. So it will go into the mid range. So it'll play a low pass filter of, say, 300, 350, something like that. So all these dials and whatnot that you're seeing on the top of this amplifier are giving you those controls. When you go with just a standard 4-channel amplifier, most standard 4-channel amplifiers don't have that capability. But then again, back to the original thing, I want to do a 3-way set. You need more channels. So, okay. Right. When you set your source unit top volume before clipping, does that mean it will never get louder than that set volume? No, it doesn't mean that. Ooh, man, you guys are on point tonight. I want to commend you. You guys are coming up with really great questions. And that means that so the definition of a great question is understanding is a better understanding. I know that seems counterproductive, but knowing to ask the question is what makes it better, because you're thinking of these problems that are there that you might not you just, wait a minute. Okay, so no, it doesn't. So when you pick that 3/4 volume that a lot of manufacturers tell you to do, the reason why they tell you that is twofold. One, if the radio is going to distort past that, 3/4 is usually a safe place to be. But usually it's not 3/4. Usually it's more of a 7/8 kind of thing. Is like those last 2 or 3 clicks on the volume is where that factory radio is distorting. Not 3/4 volume. It's a factory radio. They don't want you to blow your speakers ever. So they're not going to build a radio with a ton of distortion built into it. But the reason why they tell you 3/4 volume, the other side of that, is because not all music is recorded the same. Best example of that is play AC/DC and then play something new from Maroon 5, okay? And keep your volume the same at normal listening levels, and you'll hear the AC/DC will be here, and your Maroon 5 will be up here, all right? So that's telling you right there that, oh, wait, hold on, because if you put a voltmeter in that situation right then, you'll see there's more output from the amplifier when you're playing Maroon 5 than there is with AC/DC, which means there's more signal coming out of the radio. So that clip point that you picked is changed. It's not the same spot. The reason why they say -5 and -10 dBs of gain overlap, that kind of falls back into that, is because you're boosting at 5 dB. They really want you to play it at 0, but they're giving you some room so that when you're playing AC/DC, that plus 5 dBs of output is a bonus. You can actually hear the song. Because if everything played at 0, well, then it would suck. You would get no sound. It would be like very lackluster and very disappointed, and you'd only listen to new stuff with a ton of loudness on it to make it sound good. So when setting up the system, that 3/4 volume isn't so much for distortion as it is for being able to, when you're playing music that doesn't have a good recording, you could turn it up to the same output level. Now the amplifier is seeing it, the same. Like, it's only going to do 40 volts. That's it. So the amplifier only do 40 volts. It doesn't matter what you're feeding it. It's when you ask it to do 44 volts that has a problem. So when you blow something like a speaker, 1 or 2 clicks on the volume knob would have stopped it. So if you have to. Just like a race car, just like your transmission, just like any part of your car, when you know what it sounds like, and as soon as you hear something wrong, you slow down. The same is true on your volume knob. The minute you hear something wrong,
what's up, Bobby?
You roll it down 1 or 2. What's up, Bobby? Because that'll prevent you from blowing it. That's your hint. That's your clue. That's like, hey, split second. 2, done.
No.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's what causes it. That's why I like Infinity crossovers or coax speakers. They have tweeter attenuation. Oh yeah, right there on the tweeter. Mm-hmm. Turn that down. In regards to the Toyota clock spring, I also have the ASWCC steering wheel control wired adapter from Crutchfield. I have aftermarket Kenwood Exelon, okay, stereo. I have the MMR2 stereo interface installed. What is the MMR2? That being said, all the wires and harness should interface. Thanks for the information in advance. Love your videos. Yes, but there again, sometimes the wiring, yeah, just check it at the steering wheel. Check it out there, because like there again, we knew it all would wire up. We're missing the wire. So you need 6 channels for 4 mids and 2 tweeters. Well, that's not a 3-way set. Believe it or not, that's still a 2-way set. 4 mids is still, when we think of 2-way, 3-way, 4-way, we're thinking of frequency range of the particular speaker. So like a tweeter is going to play, let's say 3200 and up. Mid-range, in this case, let's say mid-range, mid-bass, is going to play from 3200 down. So you only have 2 crossover points. Then that is a 2-way system. A 3-way system would be, like I said, a tweeter, a mid-range crossover, mid-bass crossover. So 3 speakers, or 2 mids, or 2 tweets and 4 mids. The mids are going to play at the same. The 4-channel amp will work, because you're going to put both of those mids on channels 3 and 4, and you're going to put the tweeters on 1 and 2. You're golden. You'll run that amp 2 ohm it'll be 2 ohm on the 2 mid bass or mid range, and it'll be 1 ohm, or sorry, it'll be 4 ohm on the tweeter. You'll be fine. It'll be wonderful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's weird. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think we get the point. All right, move on to the next one.
All right.
Can I bypass the bass from the Kenwood head unit and connect a different way? I want to use a bass knob, not the unit. Yeah, actually. You don't need to bypass it though. You could just leave it. So just come out of the subwoofer line, or subwoofer RCA, just don't use it anymore. Can you find the audio control little cool knob there thingy?
Yes, of course.
What you need is an external volume knob. I think it's in accessories.
Yeah, right here. No, not that one.
Yeah, I was going to say we need the actual cool one.
Hang on.
Oh, I'm hanging. There it is.
I'm going.
You going?
Mm-hmm.
That right there. ACRU. So here's a product from Siri came on. Here's a product that we're going to, this one right here. This is the ACRU, or Universal Bass Knob. And what this is designed to do is it has, so you'd come out of the Kenwood into these two inputs. Click to the next picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the back side of it, it has two outputs. So, and there's no power, there's no ground, there's no nothing. So you literally pull your radio out or go back to your amplifier, whichever you like, unplug the RCAs, plug them into this, get a new short set of RCAs, and plug them into the amplifier, or vice versa, short RCAs out of radio. You get my point. And then that phone cable looking Cat 5 deal there, you can make that as long as short as you want. It comes with a short, like 3-footer in the box, but you go to Home Depot and you can pick up as long up to 150 feet. It really doesn't matter. And what that'll do is that will give you a external volume knob that is perfectly linear. Now, this is the key to this. It's perfectly linear, which means it starts at 0 and it goes straight up to max volume. The problem with most bass knobs is they don't. They have this weird like thing like this where they're it's like nothing, something. The other cool thing about that is that with the Kenwood, or any radio for that matter, has the subwoofer volume, you can turn the subwoofer volume up or down on the radio and set it to the max level that you ever want to use it for. Mm-hmm. Why do I say that? Is let's say it happens to be one of those weekends where somebody else is going to be driving the car and you're not going to be there, and they're excited because you have a stereo. Well, you can go into the radio before they get their hands on it and turn the Kenwood volume down, and so that the max level is now less because they can turn that knob until it breaks off, but you're feeding it a reduced signal. So that's really a cool feature of having radio bass control as well as a bass knob, is that you can actually set a limiter, which is cool. I like limiters because it keeps you from breaking stuff.
There you go.
Who doesn't like, not breaking stuff? Perfect. Got that. Perfect. AC/DC is the only music that sounds better with distortion. Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is just all distortion, and I really like her music. It's just, yeah.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish.
I like her.
I just wish they did a little bit better job on the music.
The music is cool.
The music is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go with that one.
What one? Oh yeah, hit it. Hold on, let me do one more thing.
Yes,
here.
please.
We did that. Who else were we supposed to hit tonight?
Right here.
Oh yeah, they're for the other show though. We don't have to do that. Let's just throw this up there because this is more fun. And hey guys, Clean Wire Club, get the wire ruler, Mobile Solutions, check them out. Ooh, all right, that's it. That's all I got to do.
That's it.
Plus, I pay for this ad, so it's all right. Hey, when using the MILC on the, what is the MLIC? Oh, that's the milk light. God. Oh, okay. Never mind. Got it. Using the milk light on the D5.
Where's the MLIC?
It's the milk light. It's the most annoying thing on the damn amplifier. I hate it. On the D5. That's that little light that always just doesn't do what we want it to do. Do I use 50 hertz to find max volume on my non-Bose 8-inch factory head unit? Pink noise or no pink noise, or 1,000 hertz does not clip at max volume. All right. So you have a D5 1300. You have a Bose system. It's actively EQ'd. Do not use frequency. Frequency is not going to work because there's an active crossover going on there from, well, even it's non-Bose, but even still, it's a factory radio. There's an active EQ happening there. All right. So don't worry so much about all right, when you're setting it up. Okay, so here's my setup for that. I actually go into the input settings and start at -3. All right. Crazy? I know. Set channels 1 and 2, 3, and all of them go to -3. All right. And I set the car up. I get it all tuned. I'm at -3 dB there. If I have to go up in a frequency range when I'm doing my RTA, I'm below 0. So if I have to go up a little bit, I go up a little bit. It's okay. I can go up, 1 dB if I need to, and it's not going to hurt anything. When I'm all said and done, now I can go back in and listen to it. Now, if I'm doing tweet or mid, it's different. If I'm doing front and rear, it's different. But either way, I play that dynamic song, milk input clip light. I know it's a nightmare, but still, I play that dynamic song. And because when I'm tuning my car, I'm getting it all set, ready to go. Now, I'm playing my song, and I turn it up to where that milk light starts to come on. Once that milk light is on, that's the max level I can play it to. Now I go into my system and I start attenuating up till I get the volume that I need without any distortion. And I know that sounds crazy, and it's like, oh, but there's lights on the amplifier that'll start blinking to tell you to turn it down. But there again, playing that dynamic song, it's a little bit different way of doing it, but it's going to work way better because test tones just have a really hard time when you're talking about a factory radio with its BS happening. It's not flat. As much as you want it to be, it's not. And it has dynamic equal. It's just a nightmare. But yes. And there again, the dynamic song that I love to play is no doubt hella cool. Is it hella cool or hella whatever? Hell of a song because
Hell of a song.
it'll make that stupid thing clip like crazy. What is the difference between distortion and clipping? Just that. Distortion is clipping is sound. Distortion is sound distorting. Basically, it gets you to the same point, and clipping is the signal physically clipping. It's one of those words that gets interchanged a lot, and at the end of the day, the result is typically the same. But you can actually send a distorted signal into something before it clips, just because you're sending a distorted signal, and the speaker will try to reproduce that. So, if you take a track that has nothing but distortion on it and play it through something, it's not necessarily going to clip, because there again, you're not overloading that section of the amplifier. You're just playing distortion through it. So a lot of the times the distortion is you see why this gets confusing, right? Mm-hmm. All right, let's just leave it there because we don't have enough time to go into that. 2 weeks ago, I got my Ram truck down to 3.5s in the dash, 2 6.5s, 2 6x the door. In the rear, all Rockford and 2 Sundown 10s, Rockford T10 push, all of it. It sounds bad. What can I do? The one thing that wasn't listed in this anywhere is any form of DSP. How are you controlling these things? And there again, what kind of 6x9s are in the door?
What year is the Ram?
There's a lot of things that can cause bad sound. Just having great equipment doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sound good. So we would kind of have to figure out what else is going on in there. So that's more the problem, is what else is happening. I know we already showed that, but we'll show it again just so we can get away from that. Hey, guys, it's that time again. I want to thank you guys so much for participating with us. If we didn't get to your question, I'm sorry. We try to answer as many as we can, and we greatly appreciate you guys asking great questions. Thank you guys. Did a hell of a job asking some wonderful questions. If you want more questions answered, make sure to tune in Saturday. Saturday over on YouTube, we do another one of these, and it's way more fun because it's YouTube. And hey, let's be honest, YouTube is super sexy. We also go onto Instagram a lot. I won't say daily because we didn't go today, but we go on a lot, and we answer questions there too. So if we can't get your question answered here, we can always try heading over there to Instagram. If you're not Instagram, well, then hopefully you can get it on YouTube. Hey, would you like the coolest tool in the world to help you do better installs? I know you would.
Yes.
Because most of you guys ask questions that this tool can do for you. The IRTA2 is a 2-channel electric RTA. It does require some form of an iDevice with lightning connector, but it'll allow you to see what is coming over those wires. What does that signal look like, and what the hell is it doing? What is coming out of my factory system? What is, along with a ton of other things like one of my personal favorite uses for it is testing an amplifier that has no sound. So you have an amplifier sitting on the bench. You can take this device, plug the RCA that's feeding the amplifier from one channel, and then take the other channel and feed the signal that's coming out of the amplifier. So let's say left RCA, right speaker lead, and see what's happening, ticking on and off. If you have signal coming in, you have no signal coming out, literally no time flat, you can see what the hell's going on with your amplifier. There's a ton of uses for it. And the videos on there explain a lot of them. We kind of walk you through the whole thing, and that's pretty cool. As well as if you want to get cool apparel, you can head over to dnfswag.com. That's dnfswag.com. And if you do want the IRTA2, that's DNF Tool Drawer. DNFtooldrawer.com are the places you can go and find all these cool things. Along with DNF Tool Drawer has all the cool tools that we use in our installation. These guys right here. So if you're looking for plastic ferrules, meters and probes, all that fun stuff is all listed there. It'll take you out to Amazon where you can pick that stuff up. The RTA2 we ship from my house personally, so that comes to you from, yeah, we made and sell those. That's not on Amazon. You get a nice box, and there's always a present in the box. I'll tell you, there's always a present in the box.
Yes, guys.
So you guys,
order it now.
Order now. We'll get it out for you tomorrow. Because we're going to the post office tomorrow.
Oh, just go now. Yeah,
if you go order it now, it'll ship out tomorrow. You guys have a great rest of your week. So we will be here Saturday, so this is going to be a normal week. Next week, however, it's just going to be videos. I know you guys are so disappointed. I'm right now trying to get as many videos as I can up for you. I'm going to do the best I can, life being what it is. But, yeah, I'm trying to get as much stuff so that you guys will have. I think we still can do we got stuff. So Don't worry. It won't be as boring as you think, and life will go on without us.
Bye, guys.
You guys have a great night. We'll see you later next time.
Bye.
Fade to black.